we are working with the communities, we are focusing our program on the women and children. And when we say women and children, there is vast diversity among their own understanding, and there is a vast diversity of we working with them to make them understand. That is one. And second, diversity also exists at the policy level. See, when we are working, we are just translating policies into action. And then the due recognition by the policymakers, what is happening at the grassroots level and the challenges we are facing, we are not able to communicate at the policy level in an effective manner. That gap has also to be filled in. So the diversity, according to me, it exists from bottom to up and up to bottom. That gaps have to be reduced.
We don't, just because for instance, I'll just give you an example. For instance, maybe CSC does, it has its own ideology, but in the portal you see different sets of ideologies, different opinions, things like that. Just because we are from CSC or the portal is of CSC doesn't mean we'll just voice one person's opinion, one person's ideology. No. Anyone can voice the opinion. It's an open source network. Anyone can open source knowledge framework. Anyone can do that. So people have the and even when you see down to earth also, people voice the opinions, their opposition, anything is there, and it's all in open source.
How Priya's work is organized, we work on this whole dimension of community participation and democratic governance, and we work local up. So we work from grassroots, then we work at the state level, national level, and internationally. So that's the group we kind of try to, and taking a common issue, let's say it's on governance. So at the micro level, we create a lot of spaces and platforms for different stakeholders to come together. So we actually we have a term called multi-stakeholder dialogue. We actually have like a resource pack on how do you get different stakeholders to address a common problem, because we realize that the problem, solving a complex problem, there's no one solution till the different actors who are involved in it get together. So let's say if you're talking about girl-child education and the issue of girl-child education, we'll have parents, we'll have the elected representatives, we'll have the teachers, we'll have the government department, because all of them have their own challenges. So that approach seems to work, So it's not that we are pitching the citizens against the government, but actually, helping them to come into a dialogue mode and then look at some collaborative problem solutions. So that's just one example. We do it at different layers, and if you see the kind of group Priya works with, we work with civil society organizations, academicians, government. So the range of actors is not restricted to one. And in some ways we see our role, and people take our role as a convening body. They would come to a workshop, so you would have a government and an NGO and sitting together in Priya's workshop, because they feel it will not be a very threatening, environment, and one would not be pitched against the other, but one wants to do a more constructive dialogue. So I think that's been one of our strategies.
In conference, we have various panels various panels which focuses on various problems or the initiatives of particular sector, and we bring corporate, we bring policy makers, we bring bureaucrats, we bring practitioners on the same platform, and this way, and also the other stakeholders are among the audience. So there is a dialogue between all the stakeholders in a closed room kind of session. So at the unique point about our conferences is that we hardly talk about problems, or we just state the problems. We do not only keep on creeping on the problems, we talk about the solutions of those problems which are existing in these sectors.
So 3IE is really funding impact evaluations to generate high quality of evidence. And using, a theory-based, what we're trying to promote is really a theory-based approach to evaluation, to impact evaluation, which takes into account also some, mixed methods. But it's still rigorous evaluation. So I think this is a very tricky question that you're asking. It's in terms of really, I mean, the challenge is that in that particular sector of impact evaluation, the skills are more in developed countries and especially North America. And so what 3AE does is to put more emphasis when we put forward calls for proposal on capacity building. And so we want to ensure that every single grant also has a developing country principal investigator, not someone who's just going to do data collection, but somebody who's going to be from a developing country or from a developing country research institute who's going to be also involved in the analysis. So we're putting a lot of emphasis into that. I think that's the way we're trying to address, but bearing in mind that the skills in that particular field are very Northern based.
Great.